Sunshine.
I'm feeling tremendous. Thank you very much.
I feel what's the people thing?
I don't know. I haven't heard the song yet.
I don't know about you, but I feel good.
All right, people. Welcome back to the Love Movement Podcast. We are your hosts, Steve B. and Betty B.
Hello there. Hello.
What up, girl?
How you doing?
I'm doing tremendous.
I like it.
Did you have a nice holiday?
I did very much.
So I hope everybody else had a wonderful Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate as well.
Happy holidays to you.
And a happy holidays.
Yeah.
This is our last episode of the year, babe.
Awesome sauce. This year we decided to do something very low-key for Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, let's be comfy. Let's enjoy the weather. It's cold here. But I said, let's do PJs. So we did PJs. We ate in our PJs. We were watching Christmas movies. And we enjoyed that quality time.
I was dressed up as the Grinch.
Yeah, me too. We had the same onesie.
But luckily now I get to wear this fancy new tracksuit that my lovely wife got me. Beautiful Nike tracksuit. If you could see it on the screen. If you're listening, you can't see shit. So you should subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's very nice. I understand why these things are so expensive. Because when you put it on, like, it fits perfect.
It's comfortable.
It doesn't fit like some piece of shit like Champion thing you bought at Marshall's.
Don't hate on Champion. I have Champion.
No, but you know what I mean. Like, there's like cheap sweatsuits and stuff. Even I have like that old school Adidas one, like that old like.
I remember.
I got that Run DMC
Russian
shit, that Beat Street. You know what I mean? Like the green one. Yeah, it looked like the Tracksuit Mafia. But even this fits better than that. So.
You're welcome.
Thank you,
Santa.
my love. So this week, since it's the last episode of the year, New Year's is right around the corner. What we decided to do is cough on the podcast.
And happy birthday to you.
Thank you very much. When you guys are hearing this, it's the day after my birthday.
Nice.
Yeah. So thank you very much. Another trip around the sun.
Our sister Charlene is.
That's right.
She's the same day as you.
Me and Charlene have the exact same birthday.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
We're both Sagicorns.
Happy birthday to you. What?
Sagicorns. You know what that is?
No.
It's when you're born on the cusp between two zodiac signs.
Ooh, yeah.
Like I think it's within 7 days of like the end of it.
I have to say you guys are very much alike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
love you both.
We both get on your nerves too.
No, in the good way. In the good way.
But yeah, so for this episode, what we wanted to do is instead of doing Chismecito and current events, since I don't know, it feels like it's been. I don't know. There's not a lot of good stuff in the news. Everything's depressing,
I know,
and we don't want to make this depressing.
It's better to just look at what this year have been.
Yeah, do like a year-end wrap-up.
Yeah, all the good things and the not so good things, and what we're hoping for the next year or resolutions, stuff like that.
Well, we got to address the elephant in the room as far as that goes. You became a podcaster this year. Like, this is my third year doing it. This is only your 13th episode.
Oh,
as being an official podcaster.
God. You imagine if I get a call from iHeartRadio or something like that. Like, you know what? We need someone like you.
Just you, though, not me.
With an accent.
Yeah.
Not me. I'm talking about me.
I'm not going to lie. I would feel some kind of way about that.
You imagine.
That'd be kind of fucked up.
No, you're the pro here. You were born to do this. I told you. And I love your voice.
Thank you.
have a very nice voice.
Thank you very much. It's good mics. That's all it is.
Yeah.
But what do you like? So the whole genesis of this show, I kind of, I had the old show and I took a break from it. And I wanted to do something that was a little more appealing for everybody. Because the old show was just kind of meant for guys. Mm-hmm. Like, it was not only for guys, but it was targeted at guys.
Of course.
And
and you felt lonely.
Yeah.
You felt lonely. You needed someone here.
No, that's not a lie.
And
that's
let me tell you something. You couldn't find someone that you could boss around like you do with me. Right? So you said, you know what? I want to get my wife.
Honestly,
I'm going to get my wife to do this because she will sit down and do what I say.
Do you want to know the truth? Because it's not that.
It's not that?
No. The truth is, I couldn't think of anybody who I'd be able to stand week in, week out.
Oh my God, that's
Right.
very sweet.
And you were here making fun of me saying I wanted somebody to boss around, but the truth is I needed somebody who I actually liked talking with.
Thank you, baby.
You're welcome.
That's very nice.
I'm glad you agreed though, because that could have gone. You could have just been like, "Yeah, I don't like talking on microphones. I don't want to put myself out there on social media and the internet."
I did it for you, honestly.
I believe that. I don't think this is something you would have went towards without me.
Of course not. It would have never crossed my mind to do this. I'm too shy to do this.
But you're not.
Yes, I am.
Because look at how you are. I'm all the people listening right now are saying like, "What the fuck is she talking about?" You are not shy.
Well, let me tell you something. I can tell you something. People that truly know me, they're thinking, wow, she must really, really love this guy to do that.
And what do you think? What do you say to that?
It's true.
Yeah.
Yep.
But you're natural. You're a natural.
I don't know.
Like normally I would think if a shy person is on, I would have to keep kind of drawing questions and responses out of you.
When I start talking, I cannot shut up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I don't know if that shy card
he
really
had
plays
told
here.
me, okay, I have to share this with you guys. He had told me before started recording or something like that. He had said to me, "You need to not cut me off. You need to let me speak."
Yeah,
okay,
well, we
so
can't be-
shut up.
We can't be interrupting each other.
So, yeah, and sometimes you tell me just talk less. Let me do the shining. I'm just kidding.
Let me shine in my
Let
new
me
suit.
shine.
Yeah, my shiny suit. But what do you think? Like, how have you been liking this so far?
I like it.
Yeah.
I cannot say I hate it. I like it. I like sitting here with you, talking to you. I feel like it's therapy.
Yeah,
It's
we get to have-
therapeutic because sometimes I sit here and I'm annoyed at you or I'm upset, and then by the end of the show we fixed it.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm sure that.
Because we bring our snappy self here and we snap at each other in the middle of the show, but I feel like we talk it out.
Sometimes we
this
have to
is-
cut out entire like.
Yesterday
30 minute.
Yesterday
It wasn't yesterday. It was a week ago.
That's true. We were like at each other. Like we had to cut. Was 30 minutes?
It was like 30 minutes. I started recording and we
We were
immediately
just
got
fighting.
into a fight.
Yeah, we were fighting.
We didn't even do the intro.
I know.
But we.
And
okay.
he said at the end, he said, "You know, I have to cut this off. You better."
But hey, we worked it out, and the
Yeah.
episode ended up being really good.
Yeah.
So.
And we ended being happy at the end of the episode.
Yeah.
So that's what I say. We need time to sit down, to talk, to connect.
Mhm.
And I think this is a great thing to do.
I agree.
Because if we wouldn't have this, it could be weeks that we don't actually get to sit down and
Yeah.
have a talk because we're so busy with our boys and we're doing this and we're doing that. And it's life.
Yeah.
It gets so busy that it's hard to believe, but sometimes we don't even have time to sit down and talk.
No, there's definitely days where it just, as soon as you get up in the morning, you never stop moving.
Until the end of the day.
Yeah.
And I feel like we talk a lot now that we're doing the podcast.
It helps.
It's just more talking.
But we get
Weekly.
we get to like really talk. Like it's not just, oh, what happened to work? She said what? No way. It's like
Yeah.
actual conversations. And
Exactly.
we get to express things.
Connect.
Yeah.
We get to connect.
And it's nice because at the same time, other people they don't really get to participate, but they get to listen in on it. And
They can listen and say, yeah, I'm so happy I'm not alone in this. You know?
I say that all the
Like
time.
it happens to me too. Or I feel that way too.
That was what inspired me to start my old podcast, is hearing other people talk about stuff that I was going through.
I actually was talking to you about this today. That I follow a page that is a mom and also a psychologist.
Mm-hmm.
And she posts things that I can relate to. Things that sometimes that same day it happened to me. And I feel like, oh my God, this just happened to me. I felt exactly like that. Tyler said exactly that. And I reacted the way I was not supposed to react.
Yeah.
You know? It's really rare that I reacted the way it's supposed to
Yeah,
be.
I did exactly what you said not to do.
Exactly. But it feels good to know that you're not alone and that it's normal and things like that happen.
Yeah, it gives you a lot of peace of mind too,
Yeah.
knowing that you're not just some crazy psycho parent. Like,
And you
oh
learn
no,
a
this
lot.
is everybody goes through this.
Yeah, you learn a lot from hearing people
Yeah.
and hearing their struggles and their routines and their journey. I don't know. I like to learn from people.
Definitely.
I enjoy listening to them, learning, taking things and applying it to my own life.
Yeah. Well, I mean, especially like we have a not so typical story of our relationship, you know,
Yeah.
especially given the fact that it was such a long distance. It wasn't like, oh, she lives 2 hours away. No, I had to jump on a fucking plane.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was a real team effort to make this thing work and to get as far as we got. And I think that, I mean, I don't mean to toot our own horn here, but I think that we have some valuable insight about certain relationship things.
Absolutely.
You know, and I'm happy to share that with people. I mean,
Of
if it
course.
helps someone, right?
Why not?
So, what are some standout things about this year for you?
You want to hear the big one?
Yeah, we'll go back and forth. You do one, I'll do one.
My biggest thing this year was I was pregnant, and then I'm going to a routine ultrasound
This is in
on
April.
April 12th. I went to a routine ultrasound. I said to my boss, I'm going to take a break. During my lunch break, I'm going to go and do the appointment. That way I don't miss work. If I take a little longer, I'll let you know. Because the hospital is 5 minutes from the house. And I was working from home at that time. I went to the appointment. They did the ultrasound. Thankfully, we got to hear the baby's heart, and I thought everything was fine until they say, okay, wait a second, the doctor's going to come see you. I was waiting for an hour and 20 minutes, and no one would tell me anything. The next thing I know, they're getting me admitted at the hospital, putting a bracelet on me without explaining what was going on or without the doctor being there. I started crying, like, what is happening? And she said, oh, the doctor is coming right now. They just told me to admit you here. Yo, really? Thank you.
That's it?
That was all they told me. Then the doctor was not there, so they put him on speaker, and he tells me, do you know what's happening? I said, no. Can you explain? He said, yes, the baby, the amniotic fluid, it's extremely low, and we need to monitor the baby and you to make sure everything is fine. So we're just gonna let you here until your doctor comes in and she can check you.
Shout out to Dr. Tunde.
She was amazing. And we'll see, maybe you can go home tonight. And I was thinking, okay. When they sent me to the room, it's a delivery room. I was in panic mode because it was early.
Is that when you called me?
It was 32 weeks. Yes, that's when I called you, when they gave me the gown and they told me, take everything off. I was in panic. I see everything, the lights. Oh my God, I couldn't believe what was happening. It's 32 weeks. It's early, but it's dangerous. It's 8 months, and that's a very tricky thing.
It was eight and a half, right?
32 weeks, no?
Oh, okay.
And then, nada, I'm waiting there and waiting. You got there. We're waiting. What time did we see the doctor? It was 9.
It was late. It was late.
It was like 9 p.m. or something like that. I'm attached to monitors, and we're thinking what's happening. And at that point, I knew I'm not leaving this place. The doctor came in and she explained that the baby has to come out. Just like that. Yeah. We can only wait until Thursday, but he has to come out. We're going to give him a little time. We're going to try to, what is it that they gave me?
Steroids that would help the baby's lungs mature a little quicker.
Then that was it. The baby was coming. We didn't have stuff ready at the house.
Nothing ready.
I didn't have anything with me. You know, you always have prepare your baby bag and all that. I didn't even have that prepared yet. I didn't have anything with me. Thankfully, my friend's sister, Charlene, she did everything. She prepared the baby bag. Whatever she thought I would need, she got it to me. She was home helping my mom. My cousin Marbelis was there cleaning the house, making sure everything was ready. You were there in the hospital with me.
When you called me,
time.
I was on the train going to the parking lot after work. So I got the call. I was like, shit. So I went straight to the hospital, still in my dirty work clothes. And I got there and I knew just as much as you, like, what's going on? So it was like 9:00 when the doctor showed up, and the doctor explained, okay, the amniotic fluid is low. It's really not safe for us to let you go home because we don't know what effect that could have on the baby.
We need to monitor the baby.
So I said, baby's got to come out. So we're going to give you these shots. We're going to give you one tonight of the steroids and then one in 24 hours. And then after 24 hours after that, let's see if we can bring him out.
We're going to induce your labor. And I was in panic because if the baby's struggling already, how are we going to push for a birth like that? And I asked her, isn't that risky? And she said, the decision is yours, but I think you can do it. And I said, okay, but you let me know what you want to do. I said, okay. The thing was that the baby started dipping, the heartbeat.
Yeah.
Well, there was a point that they couldn't hear it, and they reclined my bed completely, feet up, head down.
Yeah, they had you in the bed with the monitor strapped around you to monitor the baby's heartbeat. And it would be the middle of the night, and all of a sudden it would just like go crazy or stop. And the alarms would go off, and we'd shoot up in a panic, and all of a sudden it would go back to normal.
It was the worst time.
It was like 48 hours straight of just that, of just panic and being paranoid and exhausted. And finally, Thursday night,
we had a schedule for Friday morning at 7. They were going to do a C-section to just bring him out. And it was Thursday night, midnight, that it was dipping constantly. And they said, we have to call the doctor. And they had to do an emergency C-section. I was shaking.
Which was your decision, though. They still left it up to you. I
told her, this has to be a C-section. I don't want to risk it. Something happens and then the baby dies. My biggest fear was for the baby not to be alive. And they have to take this monitor off. So while they're preparing me in the OR,
we don't know what's happening.
We don't know what's happening to the baby. It's the worst minutes in your life. I was shaking, like physically shaking.
When she says shaking, she was shaking. Like
I couldn't control myself.
It was like Daffy Duck or like Goofy after he was inside the church bell and they hit it with a hammer, you know?
Just like that.
It was literally like that, no exaggeration.
And they kept asking, are you cold? I'm not cold. I don't know why I'm shaking.
I'm not cold. I'm just scared shitless.
I was so worried. And then I've never been through a C-section. My firstborn was a natural birth. So I don't know how the procedure is. So when they put me down and they're going to start cutting me, the guy asked me, the doctor said, are you okay? Are you good? At this point, I'm moving my legs so they can see I can still feel everything. I'm moving my legs. I was so scared that they will start opening me and I will feel the pain. And I was moving my legs, moving my feet, and it was the point that I couldn't move anymore, but I felt when they touched me, I could feel the
pressure.
Touch.
Yeah. It's not pain, but
and
you feel pressure.
And then I said, I cannot move my my legs, but I feel. And he said, oh, you're going to feel. You're not going to feel pain, but you're going to feel what she's doing. You're like, no, why? Why? And I felt when she was pushing and doing and touching and
I remember feeling that when they took out my wisdom teeth.
When imagine there.
Yeah, that was nothing.
So uncomfortable. Like I will feel them moving my hips.
Well, that was the thing that freaked me out because I was on the side. I couldn't see to have the cloth hanging up between where we were and what they were doing, and I could see you kind of like shaking. It looked like a scene from like Jurassic Park when someone's getting eaten by the dinosaur.
Yeah. It was like they were eating me, a shark or something. I will feel the push and the pulling, and it was horrible. I was not expecting that. I don't know what I was expecting, but I was not expecting that. When I heard the baby crying, I just started crying. It was such a relief. Like, oh my God, he's fine. He's breathing. And they told me, he's fine. Everything is fine. Oh my God, I started crying.
Because he was so little too, and he had that
3
pounds. 3 pounds, 3 ounces, and he had that super like high pitched. It was like a squeak. It wasn't even like a cry.
I heard that,
I started
like
crying.
A cat. It was like a little cat.
It was so like little.
Oh my God, we started crying. It broke me down. It was so little, but he did it.
He was great. He was a trooper.
and it was the worst moments of my life, that not knowing what could happen. And I've heard so many things about babies not making it, and not knowing. It was very, very horrible time. And then the doctor said, "Do you want something to calm you down?" And I said, "Yes, please." Yes. And
what's your bong policy in this hospital?
I know, give me everything, please. But he made it, and he was so strong, and he only stayed in NICU for a week.
Yeah, it was just a week.
He was very fast. He never
He had the feeding tube.
He had the feeding
but he
tube,
never needed
but
it.
he never needed it. Or any help breathing or his eyes. He was doing everything on his own. He was very tiny, very little. He was ugly. He was very wrinkly, very, very, very weird looking, but it was the cutest thing I've ever seen.
I never once thought he was weird looking.
No, it was like a little old man, wrinkly.
Like a little old man dipped in motor oil.
Oh, little wrinkly, my little. It looked like a little bird.
Yeah, but that week when he was in the NICU, that was tough, having to leave him there every night.
No, the worst moment was leaving for the first time, seeing other moms leaving with their babies, and you're there with your car seat empty. No one knows what it is to leave the hospital without your baby.
Unless you have
gone through that,
Which,
of course.
by the way, shout out to my man Tim, because his wife had twins recently, and they had to stay in the NICU for a couple weeks.
I feel the pain, and I know how hard it is.
Shout out Timbo. What's up, buddy?
You guys are doing amazing. They'll be home soon.
No, they're home already.
Yay!
Yeah.
That's awesome.
He's got 3 boys under the age of 2.
Oh, that's fun.
You're brave. He was telling me he used to do like the cloth diapers so they could be green that way. So once the twins came over, like, this is not sustainable.
My cousin Minnie went through that with me as well. And it was a month in NICU, and we were there. I remember going there with her, and it's sad. It's really sad, but they made it, and that's what matters.
Mia's a strong kid now.
Yeah.
I think Clyde's on his way to be the same. So.
Yeah. So it was a happy ending story.
Yeah.
But it was the biggest thing I had to go through.
That was a big thing.
And before that, I would have said COVID during pregnancy.
Yeah.
But it wasn't even... Forget about that.
COVID was nothing compared to that.
That was nothing.
COVID really wasn't that bad for us.
It wasn't.
We got very lucky.
I was very congested and very scared, but that was it.
Yeah.
But this was the highlight.
All right.
The good and the bad at the same time.
Yeah.
How amazing, right?
That's pretty intense.
Right. It was very intense.
So I can't give the same thing. Yeah, I can't.
You compete with it? No.
Because
it's the same thing. We went through that
it's the same
together.
thing, but I can't just go tell the same story now from my point of view.
Of course not.
But I know for me, what happened soon after that was I decided to take a 23andMe DNA test.
That broke your walls.
It shook things up quite a bit. Now,
in your core.
Yeah. So shout out to the 3 Ninjas podcast, because I went up to Connecticut several months ago, and I told this story on there. So if you haven't heard it, I'm going to tell it here. But I did this test because, I had my half sister who, it's a complicated story, but I didn't meet her until I was in my 20s. And, I knew she was my sister, but a lot of people were like, well, are you sure? Like, how do you know?
You're
not the only one.
When you explained that to me, the first thing I said when we met, but are you sure? Because it was hard for me to comprehend, because your dad seems like he's a guy that have made mistakes. I'm not going to take that away from you, but it's a person that I see that love his kids.
He has a bunch of kids all over the place.
Yeah, he has a total of what?
6 that we know of?
No. The ones that he
claimed.
Yeah.
Claimed. So 5 that he claimed.
5. Why not one more? You know what I mean?
Right,
so that's why, because of that, I said, are you sure? And then this proved that I was totally wrong.
So I did the test, and of course it confirmed that.
Your sister did it too.
She did it first, and I did it afterwards. Now, before she did it, we don't really speak that often, and my mom, not her mom, it was just my mom, had I guess she heard through the grapevine through one of my other sisters that when she did it, 23andMe does your genetic history, like where your ancestors are from. And she said hers came up being like something like 20-something% African and like West African, which everybody, when you go, anybody who does those tests, you always get like a little bit of like something out there, something that's different than what you ever thought. Like mine even came back 0.3% Ashkenazi Jew, which is nothing. It's just so far removed from present day. But when you're getting into the 20%, that's substantial. That's someone close in, in the family tree. So I was like, well, that's interesting.
But the good thing is that you knew that she was your sister for sure.
Correct. That confirmed that and put that whole thing to bed. So I was like, well, you know what? Let's do it. So I did it. Mine came back. Same thing. Now, I was always raised to believe, on my mom's side, my mom's mom is Italian, full-blooded, and my mom's dad was like English-Irish. So then on my dad's side, my dad's mom was full-blooded Italian, and my dad's dad was like Polish or German or something along those lines, which I'd gotten different stories over the years, which always never sat right with me. I was like, what do you mean? Like, why you told me something different like 6 years ago? Like, why has that changed? So I knew something was funky. So I did it. It came back. It confirmed. It's like 58% Italian. So, and what it does is it shows any relatives that you may have, anybody related to you down to like a fraction of a percent of DNA. So it's showing.
And what percentage was Italian?
Of that, it was like 58%.
You're Italian.
Yeah, I'm Italian. And then it came back like, the English, Irish, like that was all there. And then the rest of it came back as African, mainly mostly West African. Like if you go back through history when, that was where most of the slave trade took place.
Okay.
Like the transatlantic slave trade.
I think those tests are so interesting.
It's crazy. So now when it shows you anybody else who's done the tests that shares, like I said, down to a fraction of a percent of DNA.
Like they're family to you type thing?
Yeah, anybody who's related to you who you share DNA with.
It will show up there.
It'll show up there. So I'm looking, it's a list of like 1,500 people. So I'm looking through and I'm seeing.
To see who you know from the list.
And I'm seeing last names I recognize. I'm recognizing like.
Caruso.
Well, I'm like Caruso, my dad's mom, like, Light, like my mom's dad, and Cotita, my mom's mom. But there's nothing on my dad's side. Which is my last name.
There was nothing Badina.
Nothing. I try not to give my last name on the show.
Everybody knows it.
No, they actually don't.
No?
No.
In Instagram, they don't know your last name.
No, not for the show.
What do you mean?
It does.
You can cut that. Go back.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I see, I don't see my dad's side. Nobody. Within
You
a
don't
list
see the last name at all.
1,500 people.
Not even one?
Not even a single one.
It's not there.
Not there.
That's weird.
It's very
Extremely weird.
So I'm like.
That has to be there.
You would think. So.
Maybe that's not your last name.
Well, that's what I found out. So now I turned into Detective Steve, and I signed up for Ancestry.com. So I ordered that DNA test, and they do another similar one. But with Ancestry, it's better for finding people. Like 23andMe is
to
better
really connect with the people,
family members, and find out history. 23andMe is better for finding out like information about your genetics, like any kind of health things like that. Like that's
what do you mean health thing?
Like if you're maybe like people with your DNA are predisposed to certain health conditions,
cancer and
like
stuff like that.
Cancer. It comes down to stuff like people that share your DNA have very wet earwax, like all kinds of. It goes deep,
I'm interested in that.
So I started digging through Ancestry. I took the test and was waiting for the results from that. But then I was just I was going through records. I plugging in names, like people I did know that, and I was able to find out that the guy who was my grandfather my whole life, who passed away in like 2000, I think it was like 2000.
That's a shame that you didn't get to actually have a talk with him, right?
Well, no, that grandfather, like
your grandfather.
You talk about the biological grandfather or the grandfather I knew?
The biological.
I'm talking about the grandfather I knew passed away when I was in high school.
Okay.
And he was, a pretty strong figure in my life growing up.
I don't think you would have talked to him about that.
No, I would have talked to him. So I found out that he was not my biological grandfather.
That's sad.
And then I was able to find out that my real biological grandfather was black. He was originally from North Carolina. I guess him and his sisters moved up here. He was in the Air Force, and they lived in like Camden area. And he had a bunch of kids all outside of, wedlock. he was married a couple times according to Ancestry, but didn't have kids with any of those wives. He had a bunch of illegitimate kids with all these other women, some of whom were married themselves and
That's very interesting.
caused mayhem within their personal lives. But he had all these kids, a bunch of them with white women, so they're a bunch of mixed kids. And one of them was my biological dad. And then, I really haven't talked to him about this. Like, I brought it up briefly. And
I hope he's not listening to this.
well, listen, if he's listening, I don't think it's going to be a surprise to him. I think he already knows.
What if it's a surprise to him?
Well, number one, it's not a surprise to him. I know he knows. I know for a fact he knows. So, but he doesn't want to admit it.
Okay. I think there's things that are hard to admit.
Listen, it's his choice. I'm not going to tell him how to live his life. And I can't imagine.
I definitely don't judge that, because when it comes to that, how I look at it, to me, family is who is there.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly don't believe that much in that blood term. Like people use then blood is thicker than water or the thing. No, to me,
I'm the same
family is the one that shows
you.
to be family.
Yeah.
You can choose your family, and they can be there way more than your actually blood-related relatives.
Absolutely. I agree with that 100%.
So I don't think it would change anything for me.
But the thing that changed for me is it kind of made me feel like, all right, well then where are my roots actually? Because all the stuff that not all the stuff, but a lot of the stuff I've been told has been wrong or a straight up lie. I'm like, who knew what when? You know? Like, how long have these lies been going on for?
I don't think it's lies.
I know. I definitely think there's lies.
Okay. What I meant is, I don't think they have fed you lies. If your dad, when you were growing up, didn't know this, and maybe he suspected, why would he tell you if it's only suspicions?
Well, that's fair, but
you know what I mean?
I do know that he knew for sure, within the last decade.
And
so maybe not.
Were you?
Yeah, no, I don't.
You were not even around him at that time. So why would he call you and tell you? You know what? Sorry, this is the story of my life. I don't think that's necessary.
No, I'm not saying that would have happened either. But it's just weird because, like, we talked about this, and it's like when I was, like, my whole life, there's always like a thing where I liked being around black people. I don't know how else to say it. Like, it was. I don't know.
You felt like you could relate to them. You felt like.
But here's the thing.
You felt better with them than with other people.
But as far as I knew, up until however many months ago, like, I was just a white dude. So it always felt like it made me feel like am I being a poser? Like, am I trying to be something I'm not? You know what I mean?
I think they would look at it like you're a poser still.
Yeah.
Because it's a very little percentage.
Well, it's like a quarter.
Correct. And since this is all putting pieces together, it's different than if you actually grew up with your grandfather teaching you the culture. You know what I mean? It's
I 100%
different.
know that. But what I do, I don't know. And this is, I could be completely off base. I could be full of shit. I don't know. I'm just telling you how I genuinely, honestly feel. Like, there are weird things like that I've noticed throughout my life.
That you liked. You have mentioned that.
Yeah, just things that I liked, things that I gravitated towards naturally. And like, people would like joke and like make comments like, you sure you're not black? Like, I would have like, I remember like an old man. Are you sure you ain't got a little soul in you? I'm as stereotypical as that sounds, but like, that actually happened to me. I'm not making that up. And I don't know, like, now looking back, I'm just like, oh shit, like, that wasn't just like a funny joke. Like,
I had it in me.
Yeah. And I really don't mean it to sound like pandering or like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to be some kind of like culture vulture type thing. Like, I'm just, it's just
such
weird.
A delicate subject.
Yeah. Like, it's an awkward subject.
I wish it was easier to talk about these things.
Yeah.
Hopefully one day it will be easier.
Well, I also have faith.
But I feel like
I have faith that the people that listen to this, like, know, like, I don't
where
mean
you're coming from.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I'm talking about it in good faith. I'm just telling you what happened to me. Oh, shit, I shook the table.
But why it's happening?
My knee hit, I'm sorry. But yeah, that it just kind of, and it I guess you could say it shook me to the core. And I definitely got, like, I got to find out I had like 6 different aunts and uncles that I never even knew existed.
I know. You got to talk to them.
Yeah.
That was nice.
It was nice. They were all cool.
Like, to me, I have to say that I couldn't understand why you were so overwhelmed about this. Because you were not that close with your grandfather. You know what I mean? So in my head, but this is me.
Well, no,
I'm
my
not
grandfather,
judging.
when he was alive, like we were close. Like he was an important figure in my life.
Okay.
The one that I knew, obviously.
Okay. But what I'm saying is, I'm not judging how you felt. It was hard for me to relate to you because I was trying to put myself in your shoes. And when I was doing that, I couldn't see how that would affect me. You know what I mean?
Well, you're not alone.
Like,
there was other people that felt the same as you.
If you're talking about your father or your mother, I get it. This is big people in your life that this is your mother and your father. But if we're talking about a grandfather to me is the one that was there, the one that shared his time with me, the one that played with me, the one that took me to the park. If this was blood or not blood related with whatever drama happened with my family, I honestly don't care.
Yeah.
Because tomorrow I can have this gentleman present himself to me and tell me, I'm your grandfather. I'm not going to love him. I'm just going to say, what?
Yeah.
Let's get to know you. Let's see if we can develop a relationship. And we take it from there. But it's not like anything would change. My grandfather is still my grandfather. I don't know I don't care who you are, but this is my life. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And
I think I grew up with my grandmother, my dad's mother. She was the only grandmother I knew. She was everything to me. She was amazing. Then she passed away. That's it. We came here, and here I met my grandfather, my mom's dad. He was very sweet, very nice, but I didn't have a bond with him. I didn't have a relationship with him. I just met him for the first time, and I was, 13, 14, 15? It's hard to create anything there.
Well, especially, I mean, those kind of bonds don't just happen naturally.
Exactly.
Like, even like my mom's dad, who was around, he passed away, I think it was like 21 when he passed away. And like, I barely know who the guy was as a person.
Exactly.
Like, he just, I mean, a few times, like, I did stuff with him. Like, he took me to his favorite bar where he sat there and, you know, he had a bush and a shot of Jack. And, you know, he let me play the trivia games on the little computer that they had, the little game thing they have at the bar. That was it. That was like the time I spent with him. Like, I don't know who he was, what made him tick. And I really never knew anything about any history of my family. So it was like,
that to me is crazy.
Yeah.
But, so I met this grandfather and it didn't change anything in my life. Like, okay, let's see if we can build a relationship. We were here and we didn't see each other often. So it was hard to really establish a relationship. It was nothing. It was like someone coming to the house. He happens to be my grandfather from time to time. That's it. So that didn't change anything in my life. That's why it was so hard for me to understand how they can mean something to you. Yes, it changed your reality, but it doesn't change how you feel. That's how I was thinking and how I was looking at it. Then, and because of that, you mentioned that you don't know much about your family.
Yes, it was really the first time I was learning a lot of the stuff. Not even just that side, but
and
all
to me,
sides
that
of my
was
family.
crazy too. You have never heard much about your family, and all of a sudden, this changed your entire life. You know what I mean? It was hard to comprehend. Because I'm trying to put myself in your shoes, but with my experience and with my life, because I know everything about my family. I know my mom, I know my dad, but I know their families.
Yeah.
I know their last name until the last one. I know where they come from, what happened to their lives, how everything developed in their lives. I know it all. And I ask you things that you cannot answer.
I knew nothing.
Things.
I knew nothing.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that to me was so crazy. How can you not know about this?
Yeah, so I think that compounded the whole everything, where it was like, this is the first time I'm learning any of it,
and it's on your own.
Yeah. And I and plus too, like, there was something that felt cool about it. I felt like a detective, like, I'm solving the case here, you know, like
putting everything together.
Yeah, so there was a sense of pride where, like, I want to complete this, and I want to say I found out all this stuff. I put all the pieces together.
But you wanted to call your grandmother. You wanted to
I
call your
know.
dad. You felt like you needed to
I wanted to confront them. I still
Yeah.
feel like I want to, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know
think you
what's to
should.
gain from
I
any of
don't
that
think
at
you
this point.
should. Yeah, you can be opening wounds
Yeah.
that you have no right to be digging in that. That's their lives, and I don't think you should. You should leave it like that, because who knows what your grandma went through or why she did the things she did.
I'll tell you what. When I watched that you didn't finish watching the movie with me, The Many Saints of Newark, the Sopranos movie. There was a scene where there was a guy, he had this chick that he was like in love with, and she slept with a black guy, and he found out and he killed her. And I watched that scene and I was like, wow, this really hits a little closer to home now, because that was what it was like back then, and that was the exact time period.
And then
know?
you don't know what happened there. You don't know the relationship. You don't know anything about it. And for you to just come in and try to confront them, I don't think it's right. But that's just me.
Well, I didn't do it, so
that's good.
here we
good.
are. But that just added a whole new
drama to our lives, because this is the time that Clyde is newborn, and you were like checked out. You were
I was caught up.
completely caught up in this, and that was your everything you would do. It was around this. You will breathe this. You
I got
will eat
obsessed.
this. You were obsessed,
Yeah.
and we were like just there. That was hard on me.
Yeah, it took some real
I
kick in the mouth to come back down to earth.
We had a big fight. I started crying. Like, how come? This should be your main focus. You should be obsessed over this, our new baby, our life. I was doing so much, and I felt like you were not there. You were gone. You were so far away. You were here, but you were so far away. And that was sad.
Yeah, well,
I was sad, and I remember thinking, I'm gonna resent this forever, because this should be our happiest moment, and why are you ruining this for us? You ruin it because I'm sad looking at this, looking how you were consumed in your little world, trying to find out who your grandfather was when everybody's dead. There's nothing that because if you can find him, to talk to him,
that's
to
one
open
thing.
up your world, to explain what happened, to, I don't know, to give you an insight of why things were like, but they were all dead. And then you wanted to reconnect with cousins and do barbecues and stuff.
Oh, I didn't say all that.
But I felt like everything was leaving my house. Like, that's it. He's gone. He's going to move out, and he's going to go live who knows who. And that's it. We don't matter. I felt like we didn't matter. The good thing about this is that we were able to sit down and talk about this. You were able to actually open up and listen to me, because the first time we had a conversation, you were so defensive. You didn't want to hear about it. You were like, how can you take this away from me? How can you not see what I'm seeing? I know not understanding me. I'm not going to stop investigating. I'm not going to stop this. You were like transformed into a little gremlin. And I couldn't believe that. And then you open up. We talked about it. It took so many talks.
Yeah.
Well, we finally got here.
Maybe that's why like police detectives always like have like a bunch of divorces, because they get so caught up in these cases.
Yes, they checked out of the real life.
Yeah. But I definitely got a taste of what that feels like. Like, oh, wow.
It's an addiction.
It really is.
Right?
Yeah. But so that was that, and
It was very intense.
It was very intense. Yeah. But I'm very happy to say that we were able to work it out, essentially. Like, I mean, it did take like I said, it took a big shock
year
to get, to gain a new perspective and be like, okay, I was caught up.
Yeah.
Like, I was too wrapped up with that. But listen, I feel
it was another year that we conquer, baby.
I agree. Like, I feel like we came out of it stronger.
Yeah.
Like I solved the mystery. I don't think there's really much left to find out. So it just is what it is at this point. And then just move on from there. And, now we have, our family is, one stronger.
Yep.
So
but you didn't finish this. Like, how did your sister took this? Your other sisters, how did this affected their lives? How it did to you? Did you guys talked about this?
So
Were you able to talk about it with anybody in your family?
So no, I only spoke very, very briefly with two of my sisters, and I don't know how it affected them.
How were they feeling when you were talking about this?
I don't know. They didn't. I don't really know.
No,
Because it was through text, so it's really hard to get a feel for what someone's going through emotionally.
but were they interested in knowing?
I don't know. I think they just kind of like
Oh, okay,
by the
whatever.
time I talked to them, like I feel like I'd really kind of I squeezed all the juice out of it. You know, like there's not much more to learn here. And so I told them what I knew, and they were like, "Oh, well, I mean, yeah, that makes sense."
And that's it.
And I don't know what happened after that. And then the other sister, who I've been keeping in the loop, the one that lives in the city, though I kept her in the loop pretty much the whole time, and she was the one actually that gave me a vital piece of information, which is, I'm not going to say anything on the podcast because that's a little private, but if not for a piece of information she gave me, I wouldn't have been able to put the whole thing together.
Oh, so she was very helpful.
She was very helpful, but she was also like, hey, why are you pulling on this thread? Like, where are you trying to get from here?
She's very smart.
She is. She's very down to earth and very grounded.
I really liked her.
And like she also says, like, I don't know what you're hoping to accomplish with this. Like, yeah, okay, now, great, but then what? Like, what do you want from this? Because just keep in mind, this is the harder you pull in this thread, the more that sweater is gonna come unraveled, and it's gonna affect a lot of people's lives. So just be aware. And it's my fucking kid's sister too. Tell me that.
I
So,
know.
she's got a good head on her shoulders.
She's very smart. I think she's the best ever. I love her very much, and I love the fact that you actually listen to her and she listens to you.
Yeah.
You guys really are. I feel like you are very much alike, and maybe that's why I like you both so much.
I hope so. But so that whole thing has been essentially put to bed now. Yeah, I still have those relatives down South Jersey, but like they have their lives, I have mine. I don't. It's
like if you want to connect with them, I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah. Maybe one day, but not right now. I want to get you. You had a good, not like a saying, but you said something to me that I really internalized, and I took to heart. Like, let's get our house in order. Let's get everything together here. Like, once we're good here, then we'll worry about branching out. But for now, let's make sure everything is good here. And at the time, it wasn't good here, and it took work. And it was a humbling experience for me too, because I also had to realize, like, I kind of fucked up here too. Like, I can't put this on anybody else. Like, these were my actions. Like, I let myself get caught up in this. And yeah, like I have a brand new baby here that, like I'm holding him, but I'm not even here. Like I'm
thinking of all these things at the same time.
I'm in the metaverse here, scrolling through the census records from 1904. But so that's that. And now I just
very heavy stuff.
It's a very heavy year,
I hope you guys had a better year, much lighter, and less complicated.
So now that this year is almost over,
I hope we get a better one.
Yeah.
Not so intense.
I think we're both stronger for what we went through this year.
Yeah. But we should catch a break. Don't you think? I hope this
That'd be very
2022 is smoother, funner.
What are your resolutions for this year?
I usually don't do any resolutions. Honestly, I
Me neither.
Never think of these things. I feel like I don't know. I feel like if I say it, I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah.
But I was thinking, and I said, you know what? Let's try to do something different this year. Maybe I can do some type of resolutions that are not so like, I want to lose 10 pounds. Yes, I've been wanting that since April. It's not happening yet. Okay, so I don't want to do that because if it doesn't happen, I'm going to be very sad. But yes, I would like to lose 10 pounds. But my resolutions this year is try to be better every day. I want to wake up every morning, take time to breathe and think to myself, let's be patient, let's be a better mother, let's be a better roommate, let's be a better wife.
Roommate.
Yeah, because I have roommates here.
Wow, that's very generic.
Try to be a better wife, a better daughter, a better human being. Be more patient, listen more, not judge, and be more empathetic. You know what I mean? Everybody goes through so much. I'm not the only one in this world struggling or feeling intense sometimes. I just have to breathe. Remember to breathe. I forget a lot to breathe. And I think if I will just take a minute to step back, breathe before I react, I could be a better person. You know what I mean? So that's my goal this year, to actually put everything in perspective the moment I wake up. And try to make every day a new day and a better day.
It's good.
And that's the only thing I want to accomplish.
I like all that.
If I can conquer that, I could say I had an amazing year.
That sounds like good stuff.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
What about you?
For me, so we were talking about this earlier, and I said, like, I don't like the idea of resolutions because, like, we should just be trying to be the best versions of ourselves already, you know?
But I feel like we try every day.
I think we try
the
every day.
best we can do.
But for resolutions, I guess if I had to zero in on one specific thing, something I want to do, I want to be better at letting my guard down. And I mean that specifically when it comes to being a dad. Like, I want to be able to be a little sillier with the boys. And
yeah, I think you should totally do that.
You know, like, I don't know, I feel...
Don't be so serious.
Yeah, sometimes I kind of look back on myself and I'm like, what are you so uptight for? And I don't ever remember being that way. And I think that I just kind of let the stress of the years get to me. And it's like the weight of, you know, having responsibilities, like, it really hardens you. And I want to counteract that. You know what I mean? Like, I want to be able to just goof around with Ty more. I feel like I used to do it a little bit more. You know? I don't want to feel like everything's so heavy all the time. Like Rodney Dangerfield used to say, like, I just wake up and there's heaviness. There's heaviness and feel it all day long. And I would look in the mirror and the heaviness would be there. And the heaviness would say, oh, you're going to get it today. You're going to be drinking earlier. But
yeah, I think that would be amazing.
Yeah, I think that's something I want to work on.
I would love to see more of you being more goofy, more silly. Yeah, more light. Life is too serious. If we don't shake it off,
you know what I think has
harder.
A little something to do with it? I'm not going to say this has everything to do with it, but definitely a little something. And I think this might surprise you. I'm afraid, not afraid, but I'm self-conscious of looking stupid in front of you.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
I do it all the time.
No, I know you do it, and I kind of envy that a little bit. But it's something
so
like...
you look at me like I'm stupid.
No, you're completely missing the point.
I'm just getting confused. Really?
Yeah.
Does that really worries you?
Well, I mean, this is just me as a person.
You love me.
I do love you.
You love me.
But no, there's always, like, you know, in my mind, there's no such thing as a sure thing. So, like, you telling me...
That's a good thing to have a successful marriage.
I think so. Because it's easy to take people for granted when you look at things like that. But at the same time, I think sometimes I let that get the best of me, where I'm like, oh, she might not like me anymore. She might decide that I'm a fucking idiot.
No, I love that. I love to see you playing with Tyler and being silly. I love to see that. When you guys are laughing and playing and throwing yourself in the floor, that is joy to me. Makes me so happy. Yeah. I always tell you, I love to see this. This makes me so happy. That's the best gift. Seeing you guys play. I love that.
But that's what I want to work. I want to do better with that this year.
I would love to see that. I'm sure you can do it. And Tyler's going to love it even more.
Yeah, I think he's going to have the most to gain from that.
Absolutely.
Clyde's still too little, so.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you want to do one last Dame la Luz before the year's over?
Yes. What are you doing?
What am I doing?
What is your dame la luz?
Oh, wow.
Dame la luz,
you really
ilumíname.
gringa that up there. Mine is a restaurant.
Which one?
I'm going to shout out Chor Steakhouse. They have a couple locations. I specifically would recommend.
Hopefully, we are going to be eating there for New Year's Eve.
That would be nice.
Ooh.
But I would recommend the location in Red Bank, New Jersey. It's kind of a shore town, like near the shore, but it's not
Beautiful
like a beach town. It's very nice. Incidentally, Kevin Smith's Secret Stash, which was a famous comic book store, used to be like 2 doors down from there. I think they moved locations, but it's on, I guess it's not Front Street, it's Main Street or Broad Street in Red Bank. I don't remember exactly, but the food was tremendous. It's a beautiful place.
Service is amazing.
Service is amazing.
Like
great atmosphere.
Wine.
You're paying good money, but you're getting good stuff.
Delicious.
Yeah, and they have another location on 202 in Raritan, but I recommend the Red Bank one because that's a little nicer. And that's my recommendation.
That place, yeah.
So shout out to Char.
Good one.
What do you got, baby?
I don't know if you guys went to the movies to watch this amazing movie, Encanto. We don't talk about Bruno, no.
It was the new Disney movie.
We don't talk about Bruno. I love that movie. It's very sweet. It's
very
it takes
Colombian.
place in Colombia,
but
it's very nice. It's a lot about family and a lot of mistakes we make as a family. And it has a nice message. It made me cry a little bit. I cry a lot. But it touched me. It was really nice. Tyler loved it. We loved all the songs. It was a nice movie to watch with the family. If you have kids or not, it's a very sweet movie. It's really nice now that we're in the holidays and all that. I think we have the time off to watch it. Maybe New Year's Day, things like that. It's a very, very good movie to watch. We liked it.
Yes.
Didn't you like it?
I fell asleep for most of it, but
Maluma,
I liked it.
I know people know Maluma. Maluma is the voice of Mariano, one of the guys there. And then we have canciones from Carlos Vives.
John
It's
Leguizamo.
really nice. Yeah, this guy, which one?
Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Yeah.
He wrote the songs. I don't believe he did any of the voices, though.
He did one of the voices.
He did?
Yes, he did.
okay. I stand corrected.
Yeah.
Or I
you fell
said
asleep.
corrected. I did fall asleep. I have
It
a
was
tendency
really
to do
nice.
that when we see movies on weeknights.
Go watch it, and then you tell me what you think.
Well, guys, I think that's it for today.
Have an amazing 2022. We hope you have an amazing year. We hope that everything you put your mind to it, you get to do, that you get to travel, that you get to enjoy life with your family, with people that you love, and that health follows you to the entire year. And we hope you're here with us every week.
Yeah, we hope you guys continue to tune in, and we hope we can continue to grow our little community here.
That would be nice.
Big thanks to everybody who's been supporting us thus far. I hope you guys enjoyed that free coffee on us, or whatever you spent it on, whatever CBD or cocaine, whatever you bought.
Oh
that
my
$25.
God, stop it. We don't sponsor those behaviors.
Hey, listen, do whatever you want to do. But
Oh,
seriously,
Lord.
we want to say thank you guys for joining us so far. It's 13 episodes now, and hopefully, let's see.
Many more to go.
Let's shoot for 100, and then we'll make new goals. What do you think?
Let's do that.
Okay.
And then if we travel, which I'm planning on traveling next year, we record on the road. That would be exciting.
You want to?
Yes.
I mean, this whole setup is mobile.
Yeah, we can totally do that. That would be amazing. And
That's
you
actually
guys
not a bad
tag
idea.
along with us. Yeah.
Kind of like that.
And we recommend places that we go and stuff
Ooh,
like
that's
that.
pretty
That would be
cool.
super amazing.
Yeah.
And that way you don't only see this. You see the world.
Yeah, that's actually a good idea. I like it.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right. So we love you guys, and we hope you guys have a great New Year's. Be safe. Don't drink and drive. You know the drill. And
Have fun. Enjoy life.
yeah,
Love
we'll
you,
s-
baby.
I love you more, you sexy you.
You sexy yo.
You sexy little minx you. I like to kiss you right on the mouth. But we'll see you guys in 2022.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
That's all, folks.
That's it.